Imagine you asked an AI tool this question: who is the best estate planning lawyer near Scottsdale for a family business? The AI gives you a few names. Or imagine you ask, who can help my HVAC company get more calls from Google? Again, the AI gives you a short list of companies. And then you notice that your competitors appear, but you do not. That can feel confusing, especially when you know that you're supposed to be there. Maybe you have a stronger experience with that exact type of customer. Maybe your team has handled the same problem many times before. Maybe the recommendation feels less accurate than it should be, but AI search does not know that just because you know that. And that's the part most businesses miss. AI search does not simply pick the best brand. It picks the brand that it can understand, verify, and explain with confidence. So if your competitor appears and you do not, the question is not, are they better than us? That shouldn't even be up for debate. What you should really be asking is, what can the AI see about them that they cannot see about us? That's where AI search visibility really starts. Here's a practical example to illustrate this. When someone asks AI search a question, the system is not just matching that question to one keyword. It is trying to understand the situation behind the question. Take this example. Who can help my HVAC company get more calls from Google? That sounds like one question, but there are several smaller questions hidden inside of it. Does this buyer need SEO, Google Ads, local search, or all three? Do they need someone who understands home service businesses? Do they need help with phone calls, form fills, service area pages, or Google business profile visibility? Does the company being recommended have the public proof that it has solved this type of problem before? And lastly, does the company fit within their budget? Now, this is very different from traditional search engine keyword matching. An old search result might focus heavily on a page called SEO services. AI search, on the other hand, has to decide whether a business fits the full situation. Let's take a look at what the big AI players are saying today. Google says its AI features can use a query fan-out where the system runs several related searches around the original question. OpenAI says ChatGPT search can turn a prompt into more targeted searches. Perplexity describes itself as an answer engine that searches the web and identifies trusted service. Meanwhile, Microsoft says Copilot gives users cited sources so they can see where the answer came from. Now, you do not need to know every technical detail behind each platform, but you do need to understand the business implications. You see, a broad claim like we are a full service marketing agency does not answer those smaller questions. It does not show whether you work with HVAC companies, whether you understand local lead generation, whether you work on calls, booking, service pages, reviews, paid search, or conversion. It leaves too much for the system to infer. And when AI search has to infer too much, another business with clear public information can look like a much better match. Not because they're actually better, because their public record answers more of those hidden questions that we talked about. So the question you should be asking yourself is not how do we make AI mention us? What you really should be asking is what would make us easier to recommend? To answer this question, you need to start with the buyer's actual situation. If someone asks for an estate planning lawyer for a family business, the AI needs more than just estate planning. It needs evidence that the firm works with business owners. It needs evidence that the firm understands succession, ownership, tax exposure, or whatever matters in that situation. The same idea applies to a marketing agency. If somebody asks who can get an HVAC company to get more calls from Google, a generic SEO page does not carry much weight. The AI needs to see that you understand local service businesses. It needs to see that you work on search visibility, paid search, landing pages, reviews, and conversion. It needs enough supporting information to connect your service to the buyer's problem. And that evidence usually has a few layers. Let's take a look at them. Your service pages explain what you do in plain language. Your industry pages show who you serve. Your case studies prove that you have solved similar problems. Your reviews confirm what customers experience. Your local profiles and directory listings confirm where you operate. Your company is listed on best of articles around the web. Now, it's important to note that none of these signals works like a magic switch. A case study alone will not guarantee a recommendation. A few reviews alone will not fix a vague website. A Google business profile alone will not explain your expertise. I think you're getting the point. The strength comes from consistency and recency. When your website, reviews, case studies, and third-party mentions all point in the same direction, AI has less work to do. And that's the point. It can understand the business easier, faster, and it can match the business to the question. It can find public support for the recommendation. That's what most companies should focus on first. Your goal is to make real-world evidence around your business clearer than it is today. Here's where this becomes practical. First things first, start by asking where your public evidence looks thin. Look at questions a real buyer would ask before hiring you, not just SEO agency near me, something more specific. Who helps medical practices get more local patients from Google? Which WordPress agency can support a growing B2B website after launch? Who has experience with Google Ads for home service companies? Then check whether your website gives a clear answer. If you say you serve medical practices, show what that work looks like. For example, explain that you build service pages for individual treatments, improve local rankings for each clinic location, and help patients book appointments from search. And if you say that you support WordPress websites, explain what support includes after launch. For example, say whether you handle plugin updates, security monitoring, performance fixes, content edits, broken forms, backups, and emergency troubleshooting. If you say you help home service companies, connect that claim to the outcomes they care about. For example, show how your work improves quote requests, phone calls, Google Business Profile visibility, location pages, paid search campaigns, and landing page conversion. The goal is to not stuff every possible phrase onto one page. The goal is to remove ambiguity. A vague service page makes the AI guess. A clear service page helps the AI understand where you fit. After that, look outside your website. Do your reviews mention the problems you want to be known for? A useful review does not just say, "Great company." It says, "They helped us get more calls from Google," or "They fixed our slow WordPress site after our old agency disappeared." Do your case studies describe the starting problem, the work, and the outcome? A strong case study says what was broken, what changed, and what improved. It does not need to reveal private data, but it should give enough detail to prove real experience. Do your business profiles use the same service language as your website? If your website says WordPress support and maintenance, but your profiles only say digital marketing, the public record becomes less clear. Do relevant third-party pages describe your business in a way that supports your positioning? For example, a partner page, podcast bio, industry directory, or a client page that might mention that you specialize in WordPress, SEO, PPC, or local search for service businesses. Now, none of this guarantees that AI search will recommend you, but it gives the system a cleaner evidence trail. And in AI search, cleaner evidence often makes a brand easier to understand, easier to verify, and safer to include. The mistake is treating AI search like a separate marketing channel. It is not separate from your website, it is not separate from SEO, and it is not separate from reviews, local visibility, case studies, or your wider reputation. You see, AI search sits on top of all of that. It looks at the public record around your business and tries to decide whether your brand fits the question well enough to mention. And ultimately, AI search visibility is not only an AI problem, it is a digital presence problem. If your business is hard to understand across the web, AI search will struggle to recommend you. If your public evidence is clear, consistent, and useful, you give the system more reasons to include you when the right buyer asks the right question. Now, not every search will mention you, but you can make your business easier to understand, easier to verify, and easier to recommend by following the steps we discussed in this video. If you want help improving how your business shows up in Google, local search, paid search, your website, and AI search, Pronto Marketing can help. We work with growing businesses that need a stronger digital presence. And if you found this video useful and want to learn more about AI search visibility, SEO, and digital marketing without the hype, consider subscribing to our channel.